everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Father's Note, where we promote fatherhood through building men. I am your host, Mr. Lionel Nelson, and to my left is my beautiful wife. Say hello to the audience.
Hello, I'm Sharella Nelson. Good evening.
Yeah, yeah. And it seems like it's been a long time since we've been on here, huh? What do you say?
Even though we were just here last week.
Yeah, but it just seems like a long time. I really I really have been enjoying the interviews with the couples
hmm
that we've been having on, and
Yeah, it's been
and the,
awesome.
yeah, and the conversation. The most important thing is as long as we're helping, we're bringing
hmm
change, in the lives of married couples, relationships, especially expressing, talking about love.
Yes,
Oh, so
love
uh,
is so important.
tell me about it.
Come on. The
Ooh.
couple we had last week, they were amazing.
Yeah, they were.
Have
Yeah,
a
the
beautiful
Lees,
love story,
the
the
Lee
Baker.
Bakers, the
hmm
Bakers. Yeah, Lee and Kendella Baker. Yeah, it was very beautiful. Especially they was, matter of fact, he was our youngest married couple. No,
No?
well, yes, since doing the show, since
Okay,
we've been doing the show, we of course, we know about
the
the
Jones.
Joneses. Yeah, but we're gonna bring them back on too to
Uh-huh.
do an episode. Yeah. But let's get into this. Since we've been talking about love and relationship, we just got a couple of books here we just been promoting. And the first book that we want to acknowledge here is a book that's titled Diary of a Virtuous Wife, How to Live with Infidelity and When Doing It God's Way. This is a book that was written by my mother. It's a very, 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 very good book, especially if you're dealing with infidelity in your marriage. Powerful message that she has there. And so if we give you the information how to
Obtain the book.
obtain the book. Thank you, love. And then we also have
Just between us girls.
mhm,
Also by a very good friend of ours, my sister, Miss Dominique Dumerville. And that book it's a book for Christian women desiring to please God and their husband. So that book, I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's
yeah, yeah,
absolutely amazing. It gives great tips and strategies on if your marriage is in trouble, how to save your marriage. It talks a lot about sex and intimacy, which we know it's two different things,
yeah,
two different entities, right?
absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if you want to get that book, you can also reach out to us. You can give us a call at the phone number that's listed, 954-559-9300, and we will connect you with the author, Mrs. Dumerville.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, tonight we have what did I just do here? Well, tonight we have another beautiful couple.
Mhm.
Normally when we are bringing couples on, I normally have a good read on okay how I want the conversation to go.
Mhm.
But I've been thinking about this because I, these are two individuals that just watching them from a difference, they're so funny in themselves, man. But
Mhm.
how they interact with one another,
Mhm.
especially coming from different backgrounds, as
Correct.
far as life is concerned, it is just absolutely amazing. So,
Mhm.
without any further ado, we want to bring on our guest for tonight, Bo and Mary's Williams. Hello. Say hello to the.
Hello. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Nelson.
All
Amen.
right.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you, man. Listen. Oh, they want. Well, no applause.
Well, we'll give you applause.
Yeah. So we're so happy that you took the time out of your busy schedule to be a part of our podcast tonight, and we certainly appreciate your your our relationship, the relationship that we have with you all. And we got some history together. I was kind of
Yes.
looking back and I said, man, oh man, I forgot that I even had something to do with
With them coming together.
A very important part, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how long have you been married now?
It's 11 years now.
Yeah,
Wow.
last 2 weeks ago. No, 10. Yeah,
Yeah,
just two,
2 weeks
two
ago.
weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So you all have
Which-
been married for 11 years. How long did you date prior to that, though? How long?
2 years, I believe. Two
Okay.
or 3 years. 3 years.
No,
All
it
right.
was 2 years.
Two.
Was it? It was two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Engaged for a year and then dating.
No, like 2.5 to be specific. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
two
All
and
right.
a half. Yeah.
So how has babe, you jump in here anytime you get ready.
Well,
Go
tell
ahead.
the listening audience. See, we know how you guys came together,
Okay, yeah,
but
yeah,
tell the
yeah.
listening audience, how did you all meet?
So I had a previous relationship that had ended about maybe 8 months ago. And I was sitting. I was a 911 operator at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was sitting down and I was praying and I said, God, send me the right guy. I want a guy that's that know what he wants. A family man that wants to get married, buy a house, and is self-centered, not just you know. I was younger, but I knew what I wanted, and that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to get married, have a family, buy a house, and I was sitting there in my position, and then maybe the next night,
Mm-hmm.
I get my supervisor to call me, and he's like, "Hey, you got picked to go on a writing assignment."
Don't tell them before that. It was a lotto, right? When they
Yeah, so
won.
like this mean lady at the job was taking the name. She really didn't like me.
Don't name names.
No names.
No names.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I'm definitely not going because she's not gonna pick my name.
Uh-huh.
Right,
So
right.
then he called me. He's like, hey, so and so picked your name. What area do you want to work?
Uh-huh.
I mean, do you want to go on the writing assignment? And I was like, oh, I'm Dominican. Let me go on Alapata, which is the Dominican neighborhood, so I can meet
Okay, let
a
me
Dominican officer, right?
now just to bring more clarity to it, we're talking about a ride along with a police officer, right? Because
Yes, right along with a police officer. Yes.
okay, because you was working at the police
Yes,
department.
I was a number one operator. So as number one operators, when we're fully staffed, we get picked up sometimes to go
Mhm.
on a writing assignment so we could get to know the areas.
Right.
So when
Additional training.
yeah, so like when the callers call, we know like kind of like put a vision to the
Right.
locations of where they might
Right.
be at and stuff.
Geographic. You have a geographic understanding of the area.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I get picked up and I was like, yeah, I'll go to Alabama, which is a Dominican area. Maybe I'll meet a Dominican officer to show me around the neighborhood. And then I'm sitting there and I was working the night shift. And then I my the girl that was sitting next to me, she was like, oh, your guy is here. And I was like, who is that black guy? Like I wanted to go with a Dominican guy. So I text my friend and I was like, who is Bo Williams? This guy is not Dominican. And my Dominican friend is like, oh, you're gonna love Bo. He's awesome, great guy. Okay. So my friend tells me, go, you gotta go. And I'm like, well, he has to wait because I have an emergency.
Uh-huh.
So,
She had me waiting up there,
yes, I had him
standing
waiting.
there. Everybody's looking at me.
Yes.
All eyes on me.
Because, we work in the 911 center. We're nosy. We want to know who's the officer
Right.
who's there.
Always nosy.
Always nosy.
So you
that's
had
what
more
happened.
eyes on you than you can handle, boy, at the time, Bo.
I was used to it at that point because when you're an officer, you're
Yeah.
used to when you walk into a room, everybody's looking at you. Who's he here to arrest or what he
Correct.
here for? So, but it was just more eyes than normal.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And
Especially
that
for
was like,
women, huh?
that was around May,
Okay.
right? It was in
Mhm.
May. Prior to that, I'll give you the short story. My friend's birthday, February, right? Yeah, February. Her birthday just passed last Friday.
Mhm.
So she calls me and she's like, hey, girl, let's go to the Boulevard Cafe. And I'm like, girl, I don't want to go there. They kill people there. Like, this is really bad. She's like, please, you'll be my friend since elementary school. We have to go.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, okay. So, I got dressed up. We walked out there. And when I get there, there's two officers. And my friendly self, I go and I'm like, hey, I'm a number one operator. Something goes down in there. Please come get me. The guys were like, yeah,
I'm
sure.
like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, we'll come get you.
Yeah, the officers were like, yeah, girl, we'll come get you. But they brushed me off. They're like, this
Uh-huh.
girl probably crazy, right? Now that happened, nothing happened, everything was good. Back to May, He picks me up, and then we go. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get gas at the gas station."
Right.
And we met. Hey, Bo, Mary.
Uh,
We
uh,
go to the gas station. His friend is like, "Wait, ain't you the girl from the Boulevard Cafe a few months back?"
And I was like, oh, that's her. Oh,
I
never
didn't
mind.
remember. He didn't remember. His friend remember us.
uh,
I was like, "Okay, right." So whatever. We had a good night. We had an awesome night. I translated for both of them because they didn't speak Spanish,
okay.
Uh-huh.
and it was all good. When he dropped me off. Oh, prior to that, around 5 o'clock in the morning, when he has to drop me off, he goes, "Oh, you want some McDonald's?" And I was like, "No, you could just take me back. I have to go back." And then they were building a building right across from the church that I used to attend in Midtown. And I had told my boyfriend at the time, "Hey, I like that building. We should move into there."
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, just look into it." So this one takes me to McDonald's right by the building, and he was
That was
like,
not on purpose. I love me some chocolate sundae
"I don't believe that
and a
into this day."
and an apple pie, but whatever. Continue story. Continue.
So he looks at me and he goes, "You see that big building over there?"
Ugh.
And I was like, "Yeah, the building that I wanted to move in, right?"
Uh-huh.
He goes, "I live up there on the 26th floor." And I'm like, "Oh my God, like, is God like really putting all these things, like, like right now?" I'm like, "No, boy, like, you're not taking me over." He's like, "You want to come look at it?" I was like, "No."
I was gonna give you a quick tour, but
Like,
whatever.
no,
That's another story.
like, I
Anyway,
don't know you. Like, who are you? Like,
I'm a
this man.
stranger danger.
Yes, no,
Right.
you're not. I'm like, "Take me back to the station."
So I take her back to the station and
uh,
So he takes me back to the station, and I was like, "Hey, let me get your number because we're locked up inside. It's number one operators. In case I get hungry, I could call you. You could bring me some food." And he's like,
do I look
"No."
like food delivery? Does it say police or does it say delivery? Because I think she's trying to use me. Like she's gonna call me every day to come bring her food. I'm like, I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm not that guy.
Not
And
that
I was
guy,
like,
right?
"That's fine. Bye,
yeah.
bye." So the
Wow.
door is closing, right?
But then I thought about it.
Yeah.
So, I walked into the elevator. I was being a gentleman, walked into the elevator. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
you know what? She was nice. She was translating for me. We had
Right.
a good time.
Right.
She seemed like a good person. I
Okay.
felt like that positive vibe, that positive spiritual thing
Mhm.
going on. So let me just get a number because she was cool though. Then I
Yeah,
stuck my hand in the elevator before closing my hand.
he
Right.
did. He closed, and then he texted me when I got up there, and
Uh,
then he was like, "Oh, have a good night. Thank you for everything." Very gentleman.
right.
And
Right.
then that night, going back to work, like 9 o'clock, he texts me, "Oh, I'm gonna miss my sidekick." The game started.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and then the rest is history.
But you still
Oh.
my sidekick.
Uh-huh.
The rest is history. 4 kids later.
Oh, don't
And
go. No, you skipping. No, no, no. 4 kids later, we'll get to that
Right.
part.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, but
but yeah, we started dating. We kept
Mhm.
it hush hush because, as
Mhm.
everybody talks at the
Working
station.
in
right.
communications,
Right.
everybody know your business.
Yeah. And
So,
the police officers don't have that good reputation anyways.
right. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And I'm a good girl. Like, I
Uh,
only had one boyfriend. He was gonna be my number two boyfriend if it worked
Right.
out.
Right.
So I
It
got good
was high
advice.
high risk.
I got good advice from we're not gonna say no names, but some very special people that worked there with me. You
mm-hmm.
know.
So,
So
Bo, were you ever in a relationship prior relationship?
Not long term. Like I was in a couple month relationships before
Uh-huh.
that, but nothing ever serious. So
Mm,
she was my first long term relationship.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So then, okay, that's how you met and you got it started. So when did it become official? At what point? Or tell us the story as to when it became official that you all will be in each other's life.
I think it kind of it flew like a smooth sailing. It was, I don't know, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it just happened. He was awesome. He really showed that he cared. We had a lot of things in common. We had future plans that we both looked into each other that were very similar. And we went on dates. He cooked for me, and I don't know, it just happened. I feel like kind of not so fast because it was a year before he proposed to me,
Hmm.
but
Like a year and a half.
like a
Yeah.
year and a half. But it was just good. Like it was like we were meant for each other. Like I honestly believe the Lord placed what I pray for.
Hmm.
Even years later, even though sometimes, like every marriage, we go through our ups and downs. But
that
We
was
did have our bumps in the road, but
okay.
at the end of the day, we came together once our heads cooled and our
Mhm.
emotions settled. We worked it out and still working it out to this
yeah,
day.
yeah, like I felt like he was what I prayed for. Like I still believe in to this day. So. And I'm glad to live life with him because life is hard, and we have that good communication, and like you said, we're still
Oh, that's
working
good.
through. Yeah.
What at what time or what was it that let you know, Marys, that or let's say, let me just ask you the question directly. At what time did you know without a shadow of a doubt that you loved Bo
Or that he was the
or
one.
that he was the one?
I I can't explain it to you. It just happened like I knew it was like a natural feeling. Like it wasn't fake. It just flew like from day one. Like he invited me out and I wasn't afraid. When I was single, I used to tell my girlfriends, I'm afraid to start over. I'm afraid to go out with a new guy. How is sex gonna be? Um, is he gonna be a gentleman? All those questions, all those fears that I had
Hmm.
once I met him from day one, not on the ride along, but like after when we started chit
Months in.
chatting,
Hmm.
like it just I just knew, like, I don't know, I had a sense of security, like it was something that God, like if God came and told me, hey girl, this is the one,
This is the one.
trust me, you're fine, no fears. That's how it went.
Well,
But
how did
the timeline, I don't know because it happened so fast.
okay. How but Bo, how was it? How did you know that Mary's the one was going to be the one? What
I'm a little bit more methodical. Like I had like a little notebook, and I had like a bunch of things that I look for because I had like all these things for I look for in a woman or what I wanted in a wife,
So you
and
had a
basically,
checklist.
yeah, I had a a physical list and the pros and cons, and the pros were like this long, and the cons were like this, it was short, and they were like there were, and the cons weren't anything that was like really problematic, like addicted to alcohol or something that would, I would see that would break my marriage. There are small like little issues, but nothing serious.
yeah, you're the second gentleman or husband, shall I say that? You're the second gentleman or husband, shall I say that, um, that has been on the show that has said that they have had a checklist.
Hmm.
And
For
man, that's
everything.
wow, that's interesting. And
Oh,
then I
somebody else
love,
had it too. Huh?
yeah, 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 absolutely. And that's how he knew that the woman he was with was exactly, the love of his life. Um,
Yeah, because I didn't want my emotions to because I saw from like just looking at other people being an officer and seeing people's marriages and stuff, and sometimes people just they kind of like they think they're in love, but it's kind of like they're in lust,
Hmm.
and it's
right.
they let their emotions and they leave with kind of like the wrong head,
Hmm.
and
Right.
they go the wrong path, and they don't see the pitfalls even though it's right in front of them. So I'm like, let me just be more methodical about when I make such a big decision. Before,
Oh,
and I was looking, for the proposal. So I was like, let me give myself 6 months, and like, and another thing I did is like after every argument, I'm gonna write it down and see like, is this argument gonna make or break us? And after 6 months, by February 14th, if I don't see any major issues, I'm going for it. And then let's talk about the proposal.
that was my next question.
Oh yeah, oh what's up?
He loves
So,
his proposal. That's why he's throwing it out there.
so tell us, how did you propose?
So he was very romantic. So like February 13th, the day before or 2 days before, he's like, oh, for Valentine's Day, we're gonna go somewhere. So at that point, we were already living together in that building that I wanted to live. And He goes, tomorrow we're gonna wake up early. And I'm like, early, like 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, sir, did you wake me up to go like to another hotel like 5 o'clock in the morning? Like check-in is not like into 10 o'clock. So whatever. We drove like a whole hour. We pull up, it's a hotel. So I'm like, oh my god, like this guy really taking me to a hotel? Like he couldn't have woken me up later. So whatever, we get there, there's like a bunch of people there. And then he's like, I hear this lady, and this lady's like, oh, Bo, and Bo, come over here, and you guys come over here. Everybody else over there. You two over here. And I'm like, why is this lady so like Bo and Bo and Bo? And I'm like, whatever. So she brings out paperwork, and we're going on a hot air balloon. So I
Oh,
had to sign a waiver,
right.
like very dangerous waiver. But hey, I did it. So little did I know he was gonna propose to me. You know,
Wow.
the lady was just like, Bo and his you guys over here, everybody else over there. So I knew we were going on a hot air balloon, nothing else. We get down there to the actual fields where we were going in Homestead. It was very far. And Homestead, and again the lady is like, okay, Bo over here, Mary over here, everybody over there. She kept emphasizing on that. And I'm
Mhm.
like, why are we going alone? Like, what's going on? Why only us? So, she goes, Bo and Mary, come over here. And she's like taking pictures of us, like before the hot air balloon gets blown, and pictures here and pictures there. And it was like a whole nice package and VIP, right? And the balloon this way, and like very nice pictures. So I'm like, okay, nothing. So then she goes like, oh, Bo pay for the private hot air balloon. That's why you guys are going alone. That's why you guys have like this photo package. Everybody else is going over there with the couples. You guys are alone. I'm not thinking anything. I'm just like, okay, we're going alone.
Right.
If we die, we're dying alone. So we get on the air hot air balloon. The sun was beaming like this light is beaming.
Right.
And then I don't know if you guys know, but the hot air balloon, like the the fire that it blows to go in the wind, it's very loud.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
And then I hear this lady radioing the guy, and they talking, and I'm like, okay, lady, like you need to stop calling this man on this radio. Like every time you call, he let the thing go. Like, are we gonna die? Like, stop calling this man. Like, I'm worried. Like I'm scared right now. I'm like, why would this lady keep calling? And I'm like, Bo, can you tell the man something? Like he let his hand go. Like, like I'm nervous.
Uh, uh,
So, but come to find out, they were getting like of the direction of travel of the hot air balloon,
right.
Mhm.
Right.
because there was gonna be some people down there on the ground with
Uh-huh.
a big old sign that says, "Will you marry me?"
Oh.
Right? But then boys gave me this nice speech, and then I can't hear Bo because of the big
The,
fire
Yeah.
the
pit.
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
But boy, it's like, you the sun of my life. I want to spend the sunsets and the sunrise. And I'm like, Bo, I can't hear you. And boy's telling me this whole nice.
Long story short, then
Then he
popped out.
proposed to
I was
me.
able to get down on one knee.
He was able to get,
Right.
he's so tall too. The basket was kind of hard because it was divided.
Right.
He hit his knee. He got on one knee. And then he's telling me, and I'm like, yeah. And then I put on the ring, and the ring is about to go out
Luckily,
because it was
fitted.
big. It was kind of
big.
big. And he's like, hold on, babe, hold on. And I'm like,
Imagine if we would have lost that ring.
So like I almost laughed, and he's like, wait, don't do that. It's kind of loose. So it was beautiful. Then we landed on the ground.
Uh-huh.
We had like a nice picnic, champagne, and flowers and strawberries, and he had the whole day planned. And he took me to the
Right.
mall to buy new outfits for dinner that night. We
Oh,
went to
you
one
had a
of our
big
favorite
day, huh?
steakhouse. Oh yeah, he went all out. Yeah.
All out.
He was still showing he was intentional.
Right.
So let's get to the tough stuff. Okay, so now first of all, I hear some little chatter in the back, right? And of course you had already warned us.
They're tearing it up.
Yep. So hey, let's I know they can't come on personally, but I mean it wouldn't be no problem. But let's see if we can use a picture. So this is your family. Talk to us about them. Talk to us about them.
So after we got married, we bought a house. We're ready to have a baby. like
Hmm.
everybody, every couple. Unfortunately, on our first pregnancy, we had a miscarriage. We had an ectopic, so
Okay.
we lost our first child. With that, I lost my tube. For some reason, I always said I wanted to have twins. Twins do run in our family, my side of the family, both my mom and my dad, and so does both cousins, generations of twins. But we never thought about it, so we just wanted to have a baby.
Right. Right.
So we got pregnant with twin boys.
Wow.
Um, they're 7 year olds. They just turned 7 year olds last February 11th,
Okay.
and they're awesome, beautiful,
So we have
smart.
Josiah and Elijah.
Josiah and Elijah. Well, let me get it right because Elijah will get me.
Elijah and Joseph.
Elijah and Josiah. Those
Okay.
little few seconds, he's the one in charge.
Right.
Awesome, handsome sons of ours.
Uh-huh.
Our first blessings.
Okay.
And
What their personality is like? What is their personality
we
like?
have one of each.
So Elijah's a mini version of her.
Yeah.
Looks like her,
Correct.
acts like her. And
Yes.
then Josiah is more like me.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
he's more
How does?
methodical. He's quiet,
Hmm.
but then he gets loud sometimes too.
He gets his attitude to his patience. He doesn't have a lot of patience. Even though you got him better with your patience.
But
But Josiah,
Elijah's the social butterfly.
Elijah is a social butterfly. He looks just like my dad.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Okay.
and they're awesome. Very responsible, mature for their age.
Right.
They
They get along pretty well.
they get along very well. Because
Mhm.
Elijah's the boss. Josiah is like, okay. Josiah goes with the flow.
Right.
And then Bo got jealous because he's like, oh, those boys are just with you. And I was like, well, we should go for the girl. They say daddy's little girls.
Uh-huh.
And then we
I
got
thought
twin
I thought
girls.
I thought it was gonna be a third boy,
Oh, yeah,
and then
both thought it was a boy. He's like, we're not even doing a gender reveal because I only give boys. My dad has three boys. My dad brothers are all boys. And
Mhm.
he was certain that they were gonna be boys. And he's like, don't get mad at me if I
no,
give you
a
three boys.
boy.
Well,
Hey,
yeah.
Before.
He was like,
we're
don't
going
get
with
mad at me if
twins.
you got three boys, because that's what I give.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she told me, I remember that day in January. Had to be early January.
Hmm.
Uh, you told me the words that well.
Oh no,
Check
he
with me.
asked
Wait,
me.
let me.
No, you asked me first how I was feeling.
Let me talk. Let me talk. You want to just like take over the show, like calm down. Anyways,
Do your thing.
the words that changed everything was I feel when she was pregnant, all right, we're pregnant, we're gonna plan the baby, gotta set the room, and then a couple weeks in before we go into the first, what do you call it, ultrasound, the first ultrasound, you
Uh-huh.
told me one morning I feel more sick than the first pregnancy, and I was
Wow.
like, wait, what?
I don't
How? I'm like, how could that be? You feel like the first time was twins, so can and I went, oh no. No, that can't be. Then I went to my Google. I started doing my research.
Uh,
The chances of having two sets of twins. And Google comes back. Oh, the chances of twins goes up after
like
the first.
40%.
It's like it's not like lightning striking twice. It goes up. So I
right.
didn't know
Right.
that. So
Right.
I wasn't
Right.
expecting that. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I started getting nervous. I started thinking, oh my God, if it's another set of twins, then we'll have to move. We'll have to sell a car, get a for car seats, and sell the stroller. She'll have to quit, and then your mom will have to move in because it's too much work.
And
All
all
of
of
it.
I
that
was freaking out
Yeah. So every day he would just ask
every
me.
day.
Every day he would just ask me, how do you feel today?
So
Like never in a million years did I think I was gonna get two set of twins. But
wow.
like I do have a funny story to say. So working in 911, there was a coworker of ours. May she rest in peace. I don't know if I told you this story, Miss Nosa, but Maggie
Mhm.
had a friend that sent her a Christmas card.
Mhm.
And she told me, she's like, look, Marys, this is gonna be you. And I looked at the Christmas card and I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. She has two sets of twins.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool and cute. And I felt like I was like at the movies, you know, in those Disney movies that you'd be like,
Uh,
I wish it was me. I felt like that's what happened to me. I said, I wish it was me. And then that happened because I didn't think like that I would get pregnant and
right.
have twin girls, like twins again. Like
Right.
Wow. Wow.
I was just like, okay,
The
we'll
story
go
I
for the
say is that
girl.
she's like the broken vending machine. You know, like in high school, everybody knew about that. When the vending machine is broken, it's gonna pop. You put in that $1, and it'll come out with 2 sodas.
Yeah.
That's what I found out. So I'm like, so what we did after the girls, we unplugged that soda machine because
So
Let me
tell
tell you, Bo, everybody that knows Bo, they know Bo don't talk to strangers.
right.
Bo has gotten very social now. But back in the days, you know, he was very reserved, stayed to
Mhm.
himself, mind his own business. When I told you I was at the doctor when for the
the first
ultrasound,
ultrasound,
and then he's
because
like,
you go for the heartbeats, you know, to see the heartbeat.
yeah.
And I
Mhm.
already did the Google search once again. I did the research to see what it would look like. If it's like this, it's fraternal twins. If it's like this, it's like identical twins. And
Identical.
you know, this is one baby, this is 2 babies. So I made sure like this. So I had to make sure I'm like, if I see this, it's twins.
So I'm like
So I
there.
knew what to look
I'm
for.
there with the ultrasound thing, you know, whole legs open and stuff. And the lady's like, it's twins. And he just walked out. He's like, what am I gonna do? This is crazy. I can't afford college for 4 kids. This is a lot. And then he just walks out. And then the lady's like, hold on. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, it's something bad, you know, from my previous experience when we had the topic. And then she calls the doctor. She's like, doctor, you gotta come here and see this. And then the doctor's like, where is Bo? Bo was like nowhere to be found. And then she's like, is Bo armed today? Bo had his gun. Like, and then the doctor told the lady, one of the because like all everybody ran in there to look. Oh my god, it's another set of twins. And they're like, boys outside in the waiting room talking to a lady to another patient. She's like, can you believe this? We're gonna have to set of twins. What am I gonna do? Like he was just going crazy. So you know, after that is what can you do? It's a blessing. It's definitely a shocker,
Yes.
but you know, it was fine afterwards. Say hi, Aliyah.
So who's this?
Aaliyah.
Aliyah. Say hi, Aliyah. Say
Hi.
hi.
Oh, she's so adorable.
She
She's
is
so adorable.
mommy and daddy.
You say hi to mommy and daddy friends. Can you say hi?
I
Hi.
yeah.
So out of the girls, this is my twin, Aliyah. She's the one that's like Elijah,
Mhm.
my
Okay.
personality. Actually, no, she has my looks, but she has kind of both personality. So in the girls, their DNA, kind of like the one that looks like me acts like him, and the one that looks like him acts like me. You know,
Oh,
Oh
okay.
wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
they're definitely more friendly than the boys. Aria, say hi. Say hi to mommy
Hi.
Ariel.
friends. Say
Adorable.
how are you?
Beautiful.
Better
We're
than Grace.
good. How are you?
What happened?
Good.
That's great.
Okay, go downstairs while we finish. Go downstairs. You don't
She
want
wants the
what?
same dress.
Go change your dress. Go in the room.
Okay, so continue, Mr. Nelson. What's
Yeah.
no,
All right. So, question I want to ask. Let's get into some meat of this relationship now. Um. So this.
Here, go tell grandma to open this for you. Go tell grandma. Go. Go tell grandma. Go. 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 Go give one to Josiah, Elijah, and grandma. Go. Tell grandma to open it for you. Go. Go. No, I can't open it. Tell grandma. Go. Why? Because I'm talking right here. Go. Go. Thank you. Go ahead. Catch your height.
I'm sure it requires a lot of patience. I
Oh
believe
yes.
you have learned. Both of you have learned how to really pull on patience to have two sets of twins And the girls are 5, right?
No, they're gonna be 4 in August.
Oh, 4.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay. So
So there
that,
are three.
yeah,
they're
we
3.
got 3
Yeah.
now.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow,
3.
Three and
wow,
a half.
Three and a half.
wow, wow.
And
That's
by the way, I just want to say they stole my birthday. They were born on my birthday.
Her birthday. Yeah.
really.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, I feel for you, Mr. Bo.
Yep. Well, actually, it's helpful. I only got
Okay,
to celebrate 2 birthdays: the boy's
yeah,
birthday and then the
okay.
girl's birthday.
All right, I got you. I got you. And that
Two.
way,
We're five.
you don't
Worrying
forget
about 5
her.
people, or two, two, 4, 5. Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
And of course, my birthday gets down the drain. I gotta have Encanto birthday parties, Frozen birthday parties.
Right.
It's not
Okay,
about me anymore.
so let's get to some meat of this relationship. All right. You all did have counseling. All right.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Our first counseling was with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was. How what at a rate of 1 to 10? How important would you where would you rate counseling? The importance of counseling.
Is that for me or for him?
Both.
Pre-marriage, I think
A
it's
Pre-marriage.
thousand. A
Wow.
thousand.
Mhm.
Wow.
Listen, we did the pre-counseling with you.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
We also went to counseling during our term of the marriage,
Mm-hmm.
and I recommend it 1,000 times.
Okay.
It's very important because we can always talk, and he's always gonna say he's right. I'm always gonna say I'm right. You
Mhm.
need that mediator. You need that third person there that's gonna say, "Hold up, but why?" That's gonna ask those questions. It's gonna be there for you, and
Mhm.
I love it. Into this day, if after we did marriage counseling, I stayed with the counselor. Like I love her. Like
Mm-hmm.
I
Mhm.
will probably still be with her, but she went to like drugs and addiction, something like that.
Mhm.
But if I could afford it, if I had the time, I would still do it. It's amazing to see the third person's point of view, to see the bigger picture instead
Right.
of being an arguing of going back and forth. That mediator is there for you. You know what I'm saying? That can say, "Hey,
Right.
but wait, let's do it like this," or "Why do you feel like this?" The
Right.
same thing with me. Counseling. It's don't
What
let things get so bad before you have to go to counseling. Do it as soon as you feel like there's
come
a
on.
problem together.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
So but I would ask this question. He's not here, but
Easy listening.
one of the things, how has he been, or has Bo been receptive to counseling, or has he given a kickback on it, or because most men feel that they don't need it,
Mhm.
and that they don't want nobody else in their business, and they can, it's their thing. They can handle whatever situation they feel they need to handle in the
At the
relationship.
beginning, he
No,
was. At the
let me.
beginning, oh, go.
So yeah, you got to put that ego aside, and I think that's the ego would be talking, especially from like a man's point of view.
Mhm.
That you don't want somebody to come in and tell you how to run things, especially like if you feel like you're the head of the household. But it's important to get that other perspective because women don't think the same as men, and it's hard for me to kind of like think that way because a lot of times I'm thinking about a certain way and I see a certain thing, but she doesn't see it that way
Mhm.
because she comes from a different point of view. That's
Point of view and culture. Like sometimes I would do stuff, and he's like, "Wait," like it bothered me. He would tell me, "Babe, like you said that was wrong," or "I feel some type of way." But for me, like prime example, I'm Spanish, and to us, everybody's mi amor, which is my love, right? So
Mhm.
Mhm.
for him, he's like, "Well, why did you call that guy? Why did you tell that guy mi amor?" So he's like, "Are you flirting with that guy that you're telling him
not
that?"
to say you're flirting, but
But
I'll be like, but
like at the beginning, you didn't
don't call me
understand
when
that.
I say
Yeah,
senor.
he's like, you don't have to tell that
But
man that, right? Like, why
how
did you
about
tell
how
him
about
that?
I start calling the women mi amor? Hey, go to Hooters, mi amor.
But
Dame
to me,
más pollo, por favor, mi
but
amor.
to me, that's nothing wrong because that's a culture thing. That's my culture.
Right.
You
Right.
Right.
know, like my
Now,
parents do it, but we talked about it, and that's something that I would be like, oh, you're silly about that, but
right.
we
Right.
brought it up in counseling, and he's like, okay, now he was able to break it down to me, and
Mhm.
I know it bothered him, so
Mhm.
stop doing it. Little things like that.
Bingo.
Yep.
That is it. We think it's always the grandiose thing, and a lot of time it's not. It's the
Mhm.
little things, it's just taking in consideration. Okay, no matter how minute this may be to me, but if it's very big or something a big issue for her, then it's not fair for me to do it to her if I say I love her.
Yeah.
And because one of the things that we don't want to do and love doesn't hurt.
Correct.
Um, uh, Now you said you're Spanish or Dominican, and I'm not. It's no big issue but what's your background, Bo?
I was born in Miami, but my parents are Jamaican. All my family's Jamaican.
So now we're talking about two different cultures here.
Mhm.
How were you all able to work that out?
Hmm.
Navigate.
Oh, it was easy.
The food part is easy because we're islands. She calls it platanos, I call it plantain. We eat the same
It
food.
wasn't hard for us when it came to the culture thing because he's easygoing. And then he's more American. So he loved my culture. He loved being around my family. And then his family really didn't get that close. Like he doesn't have that much family here. They didn't get together like every week. Like we get together every weekend. We do
Mhm.
family things. And us having so many big, a lot of kids. My aunts come and help. Or with my sister, the cousin, the best friend, all of us, we'll get together and do things. So he kind of like just blended in. He got accustomed to where he danced the music. Like he said, the food is amazing. It is what we want to eat today. Do we want to eat Jamaican? Do we want to eat American? Do we want to eat Dominican? My aunt Mary a Mexican. Do we want to eat Mexican food? So we're just like a big blended family. And
I think
aside from the little things
probably
like we
that's
talked
just
about.
language thing. It's
Oh
probably
yeah, the language thing is like the most thing, and we talked about it in
like
counseling
when
prior
like her
with
when
you,
she
Mr.
talks,
Nelson.
Uh-huh.
right?
Remember we talked about that? I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
Do
I
you
Do you?
remember?
remember. I remember
I don't think he
Like
remembers.
we talked about how like if you
the
go out
Spanish.
with your friends and they both speak English
Oh
and then
Mhm.
they
yeah,
switch it up, they do the switch up.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
You know how it is. You know you
Yeah.
have
And
yeah,
she told him to get Rosetta Stone.
yeah.
oh you remember yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that's the thing. Like he couldn't understand, and you brought it up. You're like, do you feel like she's talking about you? Like that was one of the things
Mhm.
that you said, and it's
Right,
like we like you see, I'm talking with my hands. That's what we do.
right.
We talk with our hands. Like if the person first language is Spanish,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna talk in English and we will reverse back to Spanish. And
Right.
now through the years,
Uh-huh.
he's giving me the reason, like, yeah, you're right, because it's Spanglish. Like even for our anniversary dinner, the guy was like Puerto Rican and he knew I was Spanish and he will start talking and I'm like, okay, but don't speak Spanish. Like he would just throw in the Spanglish. I'm like, you see, but like that's a prime example that it's very common as a Spanish thing.
but how do you overcome that? You
So
teach me Spanish,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
Right.
I was gonna
But I
That's
haven't
one
done a good
solution.
job at that.
are you
I like we're very busy. I haven't done a good job at it. I'll be honest.
right.
The little bit of time that we have, I have to make sure he understands
Uh-huh.
what needs to be done. But he's doing a good job. He has an app, and my mom doesn't speak English. She lives with
Mhm.
us to help us, with the kids and stuff like that. And my mom speak a little English. He speak a little Spanish, and they
So
work it out there. And
let me ask you though, have you ever had to defend Bo when it came to the language barrier at times? Or let's say defend him. I'm just asking the question because it's something that just dropped in my mind. As far as because here it is, you're Dominican and he's Haitian, or of a Haitian,
Jamaican.
No,
Jamaican.
Jamaican.
I'm
Jamaican,
sorry, Jamaican background. Have you ever had to defend him because of that at any time?
no, no,
Okay,
I don't think so. No.
that's good then. That's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be especially with family members. Oh, why did you marry him? Or you know,
Oh no. If anything, with my family, they all up on him. I'm the bad one.
okay. So
Even my mom.
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
If you care to, you could jump in, babe. Because you know how when I get on the roll,
Yeah. I you don't leave a space for me to jump in.
hey, just bump me, whatever. You got a question?
I was just wanting to ask them, like, how do you guys handle or deal with conflict? How do you what's your secret or what's your formula for dealing with conflict in the marriage?
Wait, where is it? So both has, like he mentioned, little notepad.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he still write notes.
I don't write nothing.
Well, now
I've
he has a
upgraded
phone.
now.
Now he upgraded. He doesn't have a notebook. But the main thing is communication. Communications. Being open. Letting each other know what bothers us. How can we make it better? How can we fix this problem? Like something as tiny as his parents live in another state. Well, no, they live in Tampa, not another state.
Hmm.
And I have to be able to deal with all four. I have them on a set schedule, and our life is very busy. So he'll come like right before shower time. He wants to call his mom, and I'm like, dude, it's already like 7:30. I'm already tired. I'm done for the day. They need to go to sleep. And then his mom want to talk to the grandbabies for whatever time. And we got in an argument, and I'm like, you need to communicate to me. Something as simple as letting me know, hey, babe, I'm gonna call my mom. So I know that you're gonna call your mom. Prepare my mind. You're gonna call your mom. I'll come upstairs, grab all the clothes, the pajamas, get the night ready.
Mhm.
Right.
Include that in the schedule. So like mentally prepare myself. If I have to come and do something in the office, get their uniform ready for the next day. Get ahead while he's doing
Mhm.
that. But before we will argue, and I'm like, he's like, oh, you just don't want him to call my mom, and I'm like, it's not that. But we
Right.
sat down, we talked about it, and we found the root of the problem. Something as simple as just, hey, I'm gonna call my mom now. Call
Right.
your mom now. Take your time. Do what you have to do with your mom. Let me know when you're ready so then I can move on with the program. Something as simple as that. So we we could say that we have gotten to that stage in our marriage that we could talk instead of arguing, instead of yelling. Because
That's
when
good.
you're arguing and when you're yelling, the other person is not listening to you.
Absolutely.
Correct.
He,
Absolutely.
I'm like, if you're yelling and screaming at me, I'm done. I just want you to be done yelling so I could just move on. I don't want to hear what you have to say. So thank God we're in that stage of our life, in our marriage, that we could say, let's sit down, let's talk,
Mhm.
let's figure it out how we're going to fix this and move on from it.
And
That's
how you
good.
go about talking is some people would say you don't go to bed mad, but I
Mhm.
Right.
find that for us that really doesn't work because when you're emotionally hot and
Mm.
you're trying to get your point across, it's hard to listen to the other person. So
Mhm.
that's why I have to write it down because I'll forget half the stuff. So
Right.
I just write down some points or some things I want to bring across, and either the next day or the next opportunity we talk about it the next morning or the next day, whatever,
Yes.
and work it out because when our emotions are more keen and
Yeah,
we're
because
more
if I'm
open.
upset at something that happened, he's going to try to explain it to me. And
Mhm.
I'm just trying to,
And she
like,
kind of just shut down.
yeah, like the therapist told us. The therapist told us, she said, it's not the same thing to listen and hear the person. You're not comprehending. So I'm already at the defense because I'm upset, right? So he's telling me blah blah blah, blah, and I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting for him to finish, or I'm interrupting him so I
Mhm.
can put my point across. And
Mhm.
it's like we're not fixing anything. So it's important to make sure you have your one-on-one time. Sit down, cool off, and then go from there and open up. Let me know, hey, that bothered me, or hey, how can we move on from there. And that's what worked for us.
You know,
We can just tell us what worked for us. Maybe we'll help some other people because
Mhm.
when you get in an argument, people are hard-headed. They want to
right.
Right.
be right. People usually want to be the right ones. So
Mhm.
I wanna point out something there though with what you're saying because it's important that other couples hear this and understand what it is that you're saying and they see this in the whole realm. You all have been married for 10 years now,
11.
Yeah.
11 years
11.
now, right? And you're still working these things out, correct?
Yes.
So no matter how, even though you've been in this relationship or you've been together collectively for over 13 years, though, you still have come to the realization that you have to continue to put work in it, in order for the marriage to work. Would you agree?
Right, I
Yes,
agree.
completely agree. I had two sets of twins, two pregnancy, and by far, marriage has been the hardest thing I have ever done. Whoever sugarcoats it and tell you it's a beautiful cupcake with an icing on top is a
Mhm.
liar, because it's a very
It's
hard
work.
thing to do. Because
Yeah.
think about it, something as simple as you live with your mom as a teenager all your life, and you still
Mhm.
argue with your mom. You still have different beliefs, and
Mhm.
that's what it is. Two different people with two different beliefs, two different personalities, two different attitudes. So you still gotta learn. Every day is a learning experience. Every day, it's like
Wow.
how they say you're gonna learn a new number. Like our kids are in first grade and they bring this homework, and we're like, oh, wait, hold up. We got to ask Google. We got to ask other teachers. Every day we're learning something new and it's
Wow.
hard.
I got
And
it.
you always got to work on you have to. There's no ending. And if you end it or you don't want to work on it, then it's dead. You might as
Wow.
well just get a divorce and be done,
That's
because
some good information.
you both have to put into work. It's not
That's
like,
right.
what was it that you say? You
Mm,
always say it's not 50-50. It's not 100. What is it that you say? Tell them.
I can't remember.
You can
Which
remember?
one?
He has a good
I have a
thing.
lot of quotes.
He has a good quote that is like,
Well,
it's not.
I'm sure, right? Because we say it's not 50-50, it's 100, 100. Because if you only putting in 50%, guess what you're going to get back? You're going to go
50%.
get back 50%. And that's not
Correct.
what you want. You want
Right.
100%. So you got to give 100. Not
Mhm.
concerned, I say, about what you get back. Just do your part. Just
Yes.
do your part. And then you're doing your part.
And if you're doing your part, then it will be reciprocated back to you. So
Absolutely.
if I'm giving him 100%, he's gonna give me back that
At
100%.
100%.
But
Right.
And
I have a question.
even if you're giving 100% and they're giving 20% or 10%, you still got to be putting. You have to still. You
That's
don't like get out, put your foot off the throttle. You got to keep going.
Keep going.
That's it.
So
Right. I'm great.
I think that's the hardest part when you know that they're not or if you feel it's subjective, but if you feel that they're not putting in their fair share, you got to still keep you know
Yeah, and that's
doing
when and that's
more.
when
Yeah.
and that's when communication comes in, because now you know me and you'll be like, babe, guess what? I feel like you're giving up on me. You're not trying. It's like you don't care. I feel like you don't care.
Wow.
Is it that you
Good.
don't care?
That is
Or
good.
or like what's going on? Let's talk about it. It's something else going on. Do you feel like issue had gone this way? Are you sad? What's going on? Let's talk about it. And that's part of communicating, knowing your partner. And that's the beauty of marriage. People say, oh, marry because you don't want to be alone, or you don't want to die alone, or it's so good when you get sick to have somebody there for you. But
Mhm.
it's marriage is way more than that.
Mhm.
Correct.
It really is. That person is your backbone. Like honestly, hey, that person knows you.
Correct.
That communication, that I feel some type of way, that you might not want to talk about it, but he's there. Be like, hey, what's going on? And that's why God,
It took some time for you to learn that though.
yeah, it did. It did took some time for
Because
me to
she's more the
open
type
up.
to be like, oh, let it, like it's no big deal, let it go. But I'm
Yeah.
like, no, but it bothered you. No, then but it's whatever. Yeah. And she's, I after 13 years, you know your woman. So I
Mhm.
look at it bothered you. Why did it bother you? And I had to like dig it out of her because
And it sucks.
it's usually like the reverse. Usually it's the woman feeling that when the man is like more
Wow.
closed.
Mhm.
But
Wow.
I'm more open. I'm kind of like brutally honest sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when like if she's cooking and it's like, oh, how's the food? If it's salty, I'll be like, yeah, you put a little bit too much salt in here. Or if it's the rice is burnt on the bottom, like you burnt the rice. Or like if it's good, it's good. But if I don't see,
But it's hard too. Like I'm like, I wanted the rice burned on the bottom, because we Dominicans, we eat the bottom of the rice. So I'm like, I had to tell him, I'm like, hold up, like I know it's burned a little, but just eat the top for you and I'll eat the bottom. Like
then you get that smoky rice, like
like little things like that. But the bottom part
me,
is,
I'm honest. Like some people be like, oh, don't like you can go your whole marriage and say, oh, I love this food, babe, it's perfect, because you don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right.
Years later,
Yeah.
then in an argument, in a heated argument, I've been cooking you
And then
spaghetti. You love
couple
your
of-
spaghetti. I don't like your spaghetti. I never liked it. And I'm like, imagine that. I'm like, imagine if you're the person who's been cooking this food. They say they love it. It's their favorite. And for 20
Right.
years you've been lying to them, and it's like that hurts. So I'm like, that's why I tell you, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I don't like your cooking, you're gonna know it. If you do something, you're gonna know it, because I'm not gonna hide anything from you.
We got it. We got about 2 more minutes here, but my wife.
Oh, we do. Oh, you got to bring us back. We're not done with 21 questions.
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
We did a part 2.
We're near.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll take you back then. Go ahead with your question.
So
baby.
I know you guys are always busy, super busy with your lives and everything, and you have 4 children. Tell us, what's your love language? How do you spend time, or what is it you do just for you two to get away and spend time together?
So we try to do anything that we can. The girls are in daycare, thank God. The boys are in school, and then he works. Like he's off on the weekdays, so it works out. We try to sneak in on the days that they're in school, like that works
Mhm.
for us. We
Mhm.
could grab lunch
And
or
at least once a month, some type of
date night. So
Okay.
we also take advantage of, my mom lives here, so we take advantage of the late restaurants. So we'll put, because it's a lot, it's 4, it's only one person and she's older. So we put the kids to sleep and then we leave them with her, and then we'll just do date night around 9:30. And that's what we do.
But you purposely make sure that you have time for each other.
Yes.
Purposely.
Yes. And he reminds me, because I tend to forget. He
Mhm.
reminds me, hey, we gotta talk. Or hey, I booked a date night,
Okay.
Because we need to be able to talk and say, hey, this week, what happened last week? What bothered you last week? Or like he said, take a note and put it on his phone. He'll tell me, we gotta talk, and that's how we do it. And like if he's off and I got work to do, he'll come and work with me and we talk. Any little time we find, that's how we do it. That's how we communicate. That's how we get date night in. We try to crumble up in there, but make sure we don't forget about it. And if I forget, he'll remind me, or if he forgets, I'll remind him. So
Mhm.
Right.
stuff like
And
that.
that's great. That is wonderful. So, well, hey, listen, you all were awesome. And I'm sure we could go on with this for another whole hour.
Mhm.
But the time has come now, and we'll extend an invitation for y'all to come back. And because I do have some other questions, such as who's the disciplinarian in the house, as far as the children.
Yes.
Oh, no.
See, that's a whole other half an hour discussion right there.
It depends on what and how, and yeah.
He will discipline, and then he'll be like, Daddy. That's it. That's how they get him.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Especially,
God, Josiah told me, you're the mean one. I'm the mean one. I'm the one that tried to stick to schedule. You're not my friend. I said, I'm not your friend. I am your mom.
That's good.
That's it. Hey, well, anyway, we got to get out of here. You got anything?
Thanks for having us.
But we'll be back. We'll
Yeah.
continue.
Yes, you will.
Hey, you all were so fantastic, and we appreciate you. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah. Man, that was awesome, man.
Awesome.
Wow.
I loved it.
Wow. Well, anyway, hey, listen, you all. We appreciate that. That was the Williams family, and we will be back here. Definitely prepare yourself for next week. We're gonna have the Shivertons on at 7 p.m. YouTube Live. I'm interested in this conversation as well. This is going to be awesome, man. Very awesome. I've known this young man here since he has come into this world. He's a great young man. I have so much respect for him. But hey, babe, we got to get out of here. Hey, everybody. Good night.
Good night.